And I think we are rolling. All right. What's going on, everyone? And welcome back to Lost in the Dark podcast. Aaron and I are back in the virtual crypt tonight. And we have a very, very special guest. Keith, the lead vocalist of the Convalescence, is joining us tonight. Thank you very much for being on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It is our pleasure. So just to kind of like start things off, I guess I always like to ask people people that haven't been on yet and stuff like that, what because metal isn't for whatever reason it's not for everybody. So what was kind of like your how did you become a metalhead?
Honestly, man, I grew up, my parents listened to like Ozzy and Maiden and Sabbath, Dio, King Diamond, all that kind of stuff. So really I just have always been around metal my whole life.
Hell yeah. Those are, yeah. I mean, that's Maiden and Ozzy alone, like two of my absolute favorites by far.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
I always feel like you can't be into metal without being into those bands. Like,
right?
Kind of rite of passage.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everybody's got to start somewhere. It's different for everybody, but I feel like majority got their start listening to those bands and kind of worked way heavier from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I don't know, like, and it's awesome because like especially when you're not like, when you aren't like, how do I explain it? Cause everybody gets into metal at kind of a different time. I did, in the early teens, and those bands by that time were like older, but those are the ones I immediately gravitated towards when I first started getting into metal and everything. Yeah, absolutely. So how did I wanted to ask how so you started you were always around metal, your parents listened to it. Then at what point does the Convalescence come in? Like how did the Convalescence form? Was that your first band?
No.
Okay.
The Convalescence came actually like way later. I had done tours and been in bands for years prior to that. It was actually, I was a little kid, and I don't know if you ever seen the Iron Maiden like Rock in Rio DVD.
Oh yeah.
They played The Wicker Man. I was probably like 12, 13 years old, and I just saw the crowd reaction, like how many people and like how cool the show was and everything, and decided right then and there, like, this is what I want to do. And I like mowed lawns and shit for like an entire summer and bought a guitar and a little practice amp and stuff like that and started writing with some friends from high school. And we had a band in high school that played, maybe 20, 30 shows over the course of like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Before we just split up, normal high school band stuff. And I switched over to another band in the scene. Their singer was leaving. My band didn't really want to be a band anymore. So I just jumped over with those guys, Blood of the Prophets, based out of Toledo. And I was with them from 2009 to 2011. We did like a ton of touring all over the US and stuff. And then we split with that, and that's when I decided to start the Convalescence was in 2011, after splitting with Blood of the Prophets. Just because I didn't want to start over really, but I was like, well, the sooner I get this going and back out on the road, the sooner we can move forward from where I was. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
Was that always a goal of like just playing as many shows as possible, or was it kind of like, I guess, like what was the motivation? Because we talk about it quite a bit, but like just, I mean, we've seen you guys on everything, like as far as like opening for bigger shows and just a lot of like, I just kind of wonder if that was like a big motivator.
Well, I mean, the thing is we don't really come from any kind of money at all or anything like that, so like it's with us being able to do like a lot of online promotion and a lot of like Spotify playlisting costs money, YouTube ads cost money, Facebook ads cost money. And you don't really see much return because these companies don't really pay shit back to the artist. I mean, they do, but only if you get like millions and millions and millions of streams.
Yeah.
We even figured it out for one of our band members, and this is if nobody took a cut, like no management cut, no label know like anything on the songs. For one of us to make minimum wage, like 40 hours a week, no taxes out or anything, we would need like 7.2 million streams a month on Spotify.
Holy shit.
So like it's really like just not shit. So with that being said, we kind of geared our stuff towards getting our name out there just by literally hitting the road and going and playing in front of people. And the more we grinded it out and the more we came back through these cities, you know, the fan base grew and grew and grew every time we'd come back through, and we'd meet other bands on tours and kind of show trade and stuff. And we've just kind of worked our way up to the point where if there's a big show, we're one of the first ones usually that a promoter, especially in the Michigan, Ohio area, would call to come play that show. Because, I mean, we're usually down. We have a fan base that'll come out and we'll bust our ass to promote the show. So that's kind of been our approach, just because we can't really afford the other way. And we actually like going and meeting our fans and touring and seeing cool shit and being on stage. So it's not like a burden to us to be out 200 days, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. The, and I mean, yeah, that's from when you guys started, it's been pretty relentless tour cycles, like constantly. It pretty much seems you're constantly on the road. And when I first started going to shows, like in the, you know, when you're 15, 16 years old, in like the, you know, 2005, 2006 for me, I immediately noticed like there were certain bands that just opened every single show. And at that point in time, it was pretty much like Hatebreed and the Black Dahlia Murder.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, they're of course, from Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I probably saw Hatebreed 15 times, and I never actually went to see Hatebreed.
Right?
Like,
Exactly.
I was going, like, I thought they were awesome, you know? I still think they're awesome.
Mhm.
They're really cool dudes and stuff. But, like, growing up, I was not, like, a big hardcore kid. Like, I didn't really like the hardcore. I like the guttural vocals and stuff like that a little more. So, you know, I'd go to see one of the other bands, and Hatebreed would always be there. And I agree with you. Black Dahlia did the same thing, and they're probably one of my favorite bands. Actually, the Verminous flag behind you, I actually have right back here.
Oh, hell yeah!
I saw that.
Yeah,
But,
no, and yes, same thing for me with Black Dahlia. Like I never really like they were never, you know, they were never the band I was going to see, but they were always there. And ultimately, it made me fall in love with them. You know what I mean? It made
and now they are the band you're going to see.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess we're kind of trying to do the same thing. You know, we want to be the band that people are coming to see. So we try to get on these big shows, and we try to, you know, talk to these bigger bands, learn stuff from these bigger bands, and definitely just, you know, try to bring our A game to every show. I mean, we play every show with the mentality that it's a headline show for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just, you know, whatever happens after we play, it happens after we play. But we got to give everything right now, whether we're playing dead first or not.
100%. That's yes, and it comes through when you see when you're in the audience. Absolutely. And also too, you know, Cannibal Corpse was another band like that. You know, and that's you know, it's kind of like this old school approach that seems to continue to work even now. You know.
Yeah.
Just like the constant road dog mentality, and just getting out there as much as you can, and that being kind of, and you know, with you guys too, it hasn't slowed you down in any way, shape, or form on album releases either. I mean, you've been going for 9 years and about 6 albums deep.
Yeah, we're working on number 7 right now.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Monument of Misery was, I mean, absolutely killer. Like I love that album. I absolutely love that album.
Yeah, that was the first one we actually got to sit there and like do pre-production and like, you know, stuff like that in years. The last 3 albums prior to that were literally written in the studio.
Oh wow.
Like, and we've never taken longer than 2 weeks to write and record an album.
Wow.
Monument of Misery, we took maybe two-ish months kind of sending stuff back and forth. And our guitarist Toby, he does like engineering and mixing and mastering for a lot of bands and stuff, like, and a lot of like rap artists and stuff on the side. So he has all the gear and the know how to do it. So I mean, he would come out and we get together and write like every weekend, basically until we had a solid album, and then we got together as a band and started rehearsing the full album before we even went to the studio. So when we went there, it was like just knocking songs out that we already had tight enough to play live, basically.
Nice.
That's a big thing I noticed on the newest one is that it definitely sounds like a live, like as close as you guys sound live is like on the record.
A big part of that is we actually did live drums on this one. All the albums we did prior to that were programmed drums. They were programmed to like, you know, what our drummer was going to play. And our drummer was like always present for those drums being written and stuff. But we never really had the budget to like, I mean, it's expensive to record drums normally. You know, it's you spend almost a day setting it up and getting the right sounds on these drums and stuff. And studio, you know, a whole day is with nothing on a track is expensive to even think about, you know. But luckily we recorded with Chris Donaldson and we got everything set up really quick. We actually recorded all day and then went to, you know, set up the drums and got all the drums set up that night. And then the next day we came in fresh and just started tracking drums, and Chuck did 10 songs, live drums in 2 days.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Just knocked it out. So
That's sick.
Yeah.
Super efficient. You
Yeah,
guys,
we
sorry.
finished early, like leaving the studio. We booked, I think, two weeks, or we booked 16, 17 days maybe. I don't know, but we left after day 13. The album was done.
Wow.
So
would you say, because I knew you said that your guitar player does a lot of the production stuff. Do you, like, is it kind of a collaborative effort as far as the writing goes, or is it like
everybody in our band writes?
Okay.
Every member writes. As far as like the, you know, the setups and stuff go, on like Monument of Misery, for example, I sat down with Toby and put the skeleton for the song Monument of Misery together with me playing guitar. And, you know, Toby and Zach and them kind of doctored it up because I'm not the greatest guitar player. I have ideas here and there. I wrote a lot of the riffs in Reflections and in Scum as well. I'm good for like one song worth of riffs on each album usually. Obviously to be doctored up by the people that can actually play guitar well. Toby wrote 3 songs, Ron wrote 3 songs, and Zach wrote 3 songs. Chuck wrote all the drums, Katie wrote all the keyboards, and I wrote all the vocals. So, I mean, it's really a collaborative, everybody in the band writing.
Oh yeah, really definitely comes across in a lot of the specifically the newest album. Like there's just different things, little splashes of everybody kind of in it, and it's cool to hear that dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird because that was the first album with that lineup. I mean,
really?
Toby was new for that album. We had Brandon Davis before that for This Is Hell, and I mean, before that, the only members that were in the band prior to This Is Hell that are still there are me and Katie. Everybody else was prior to that. So it's been a change album to album, but me and Katie have been there since the process. Is when she joined, and I was the only one that's still there from the 2 prior to that. So, but you know, almost 10 years is a long time to keep anybody around.
Yeah.
On a metal musician's wages, I guess.
For real.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially, you know, I imagine the touring is a big part of that. You know, you guys have pretty intense cycles on a regular basis.
Yeah. I mean, well, the way we look at it is if we're sitting at home, we're not selling records and we're not selling merch. I mean, we are, but not to the level, you know. When we're on the road, we're selling, you know, 20 shirts, handful of CDs, you know, whatever every day. At home, you know, I'm maybe 10, 15 packages a week from our online store that I'm like shipping off and stuff, and then people like stream the stuff. Otherwise, it seems like I hardly ever sell hard copy CDs online. That's like you're at the show and somebody's like, I need their music, I'm buying it. But you talk to people online, they're like, so you got a Spotify?
Yeah.
So
Well, I can say I'm still a hard copy collector myself. So
same.
I
Same.
always appreciate it when bands do release stuff in a hard copy.
Yeah.
Because I have a massive. I actually bought Monument of Misery from you at Michigan Metal Fest.
Yeah, we had
The year it came out.
sold out of them, and then
Yeah.
we had to wait like half the day to
Shit,
get albums.
I think I actually bought the last one.
Possibly, yeah.
Now that I think about it.
It was our album release tour, and I remember just calling the label, going, "Dude, you need to get us more CDs. Where the fuck are these CDs? We're on our CD release tour, and we can't even sell the album. What the fuck?" And he had somebody drive, like, they got the albums like rush shipped to Cleveland to his house, and then somebody drove it all the way to Michigan Metal Fest from Cleveland to make sure we'd have it by the end of the day.
That's right.
That's
Yes. I remember that. That's because I think you told me that when I bought it. Like that's wild. That is wild. It's awesome because I know by the end of the day they did arrive, right?
Yeah. Like right around the time of like Head PE and stuff, we got like this bunch of CDs. So just in time for it to get like too dark for people to see our merch.
Right.
Yeah, we got some CDs. But yeah, I mean, it saved our ass for the rest of the tour.
Yeah, for sure.
But
that was, that's so look once like I was saying, like it was Hatebreed, Dahlia, Battlecross too. They were one for a while, a great band. And then I kind of like stopped going to shows as much for a few years in there, and then I really got back into it right around 2016, 17, and then you guys were the band that I started seeing opening for everyone. I was like, these are the guys that are like putting in, that old school mentality, that kind of work ethic in this, and they're just, now I'm seeing them everywhere, and the more times I see them, the more I like them. You know what I mean? And I think that's I think it's awesome that you guys still do that and kind of carry that flag in a way.
Yeah, it's great to hear, man. I definitely appreciate it. Glad that you guys like us for sure.
Oh man. I mean, I think the first time we saw you was at the Music Factory in Battle Creek opening for Devil Driver right before the first Michigan Metal Fest that Devil Driver also headlined.
Yeah, so that was like 2 years ago ish?
I think it's 17. I think it was 3 years ago now.
Actually, wait a minute. The poster is behind my computer right now. It was July 14th, 2018, actually.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, because we went with Devil Driver and played Incarceration the next day too.
Yeah.
Ohio. So
yeah,
those dudes were really, really, really cool to us as well. But that show was packed.
Yeah.
I remember it just being so goddamn hot.
Oh man.
We're like putting all that stage paint on and stuff, and it's just like, you hear everybody talking in the back like, dude, I'm gonna pass out. This is fuck. I'm gonna pass out. And we went on there, and that is the hottest show I've ever played at the Music Factory.
Damn.
Was that one? I don't know if the AC was fucked up or like if there was just too many goddamn people in there or what, but it was rough.
It was melting. Yeah.
I did actually want to ask you guys about your stage show because that's something that stuck out to me. Like I love that you guys kind of like dive headfirst into just the imagery and really kind of like, put everybody in this like world when you guys are playing and stuff. Like I just kind of was wondering like where that all like the idea for that came from, and just kind of like if it was something that like took a little bit of time to like craft, or if it was just something that you guys wanted to start with.
It's an ongoing project. I mean, when we did our first EP, Memories, and then we did Unmasking the Betrayer, with Memories, we didn't wear paint. We were just like regular dressed up there playing shows like any other local band, and we were awful. And and then Unmasking the Betrayer came out, and it actually got delayed. Like we had released a few songs off of it, and then the actual release got delayed because like our label that we were on at the time went bankrupt. Like, and then we had to like fight them like a little bit, and to get the album and to get everything together for the album. Then we were going through member changes at the same time, so it was like it really fucked up like putting the album out. So what we ended up doing is we printed like maybe 1,000 hard copies of that record, and that was it. We never put it like digital distribution. We never reprinted it after that. It was, this is it. This is this album. And we sold those 1,000 copies, and then that's it. Like, those are the only ones in existence. And the EP Memories before that was the same deal. We printed, I think, 1,200 copies of that, and once they were all gone, they were just gone. So that was kind of messed up. But then when we actually started in 2013, we actually started touring on Unmasking the Betrayer with like a new lineup, and decided that we needed just something to, you know, set us apart a little bit from everything else that was going on, all the other bands we were playing shows with and stuff. So we started doing the corpse paint, and at first it was just like, all right, we're gonna wear all black. That's gonna be the thing, and we're gonna paint our faces like straight like black metal. But then we're gonna like, you know, play breakdowns and shit. And we were just like grungy. We were touring in like an SUV with no trailer, just all the gear and people and shit packed in there. We were like a 4-piece. It sounded really just odd for a while. And around 2014, our buddy Teddy, who was the singer for Psychosis at the time, actually called me up and he goes, "Hey, I'm working A&R for Ferocious Records. They want to sign you guys. They want to put your album out, and they'll pay, you know, they'll pay for you to go to the studio, like a real studio." And I'm like, sold. Like, whatever. Yeah. Let's go to a real studio and do this. And I had met Katie in 2013, and, you know, convinced her to join the band and whatever. So we added keys. We finally found 2 guitar players that were good, and we wrote the process, and that's the first one that we had that like really was a full length, came out through a label, like legit release, and had a couple singles on that one. And that's when we really started getting serious about the corpse paint. You know, we were painting our arms at that point, faces, and we had to step it up because we had to call, "Hey, you guys are going on tour with His Blood Runs Black and Rings of Saturn," like full US. And we had never done like a big tour, you know. This was out of the blue. It was like 38 shows or something. And so I mean, we were like, we printed up all these shirts that had like our logo on the chest right here, and then like a pentagram on the back in blood. And we were all doing the corpse paint thing. And then I think we went and got like, you know, one of those like fences, the plastic fences with like skulls on it and shit.
Yeah.
We went and got that and like duct taped it to the front of Katie's keyboard stand for that tour, just to like look like we kind of were supposed to be there. And we did that whole tour, and from there it just became like, okay, how do we make this a little better? Okay, how do we make this a little better? And then oddly enough, like fans just started bringing us like animal bones. This was not like a prompted thing. It was just like by like 2015 we were on tour with Cryptopsy, and somebody walked up to our table with a deer skull. Like, "Here, I brought this for you guys." And we're like, "Oh, sick." Like, and we're like sitting there on the bus, like, what are we gonna do with this? And then like a couple shows later, somebody brought us like, you know, another skull of something, and we're like, we gotta start using these. And then once we started using them, we really started getting them like all the time. Like, and then we started, you know, doing weird stuff like pulling the jawbone off and like putting it on a different skull and like wire wrapping it like that with like barbed wire and stuff like that. And we actually built like a whole fake torso for the front of Katie's keyboard stand that like drips blood out of it, and
Let's see.
all that kind of stuff. And it's just been over the years of touring, you know, people think it's, you know, the stage show is cool. So they're like, oh, maybe if I give them these bones, or maybe if I, you know, whatever, give them this shit or whatever, they'll use it in the show. And we will. A lot of the time, if it's usable, it'll end up on a mic stand or across the front of the stage or on Katie's keyboard stand or something. So it's really just been like donated stuff, and then whatever we can afford production wise to like bring on that tour ourselves and have it function right and not be too ridiculous. The blood spraying thing is new over the last couple of years, just because when you're a way smaller band and you start spraying blood all over a venue or even like an outdoor festival, it's like, fuck you, I'm never booking you again.
Right.
Like there's no way. You guys made this giant mess and you brought like 4 people. Like you're just a pain in my ass and I don't want to book you anymore.
Yeah.
But now if the band's coming and people are stoked about it and they're all packing to the front of the stage because they heard they were going to get sprayed with blood and shit, then it becomes a little bit more acceptable to like
see that,
be doing that kind of shit. Indoor venues, we still always have to like ask ahead of time, like, so we do this, but do you mind if we spray like 2 gallons of blood all over your venue? And some of them are like, fuck yeah, that sounds awesome. And some of them are like, if 1 drop of blood gets on anything, we are not paying you. Like, get the fuck out of here.
That decides it pretty quick, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's really just dependent on the promoter. I know Michigan Metal Fest was trying to get us not to spray blood and threatening to shut us off last year.
Oh.
The sound guy was on like the talk back, like, if you spray one thing off that stage, I'm shutting you down. Don't fuck around, whatever. And
that's lame.
The security came back and talked to us, like, what do you want us to do?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, tell them you're not going to help them when like 2,000 people are pissed. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure enough, he went back and told him that, and he comes back, he was just trying not to get it on the speakers. Okay.
All right.
You know, so we gave all the blood to security. We said, you guys spray it then.
Oh, yeah.
And we just let them stand on the barricade doing their job, just coating everybody. And they had fun. I think, you know, the fans there had fun. It was fun to watch from the stage. So that was also another extremely warm show.
Oh, yeah.
Michigan Metal Fest usually is. Where that stage sits at, like, I swear, the first half of the day, first 3/4 of the day, the sun's just beating down on that stage.
Yep.
All day.
It just bakes.
Yeah. So when you're covered in like black acrylic paint, and then like some of our stage clothes, you know, we switched now. We're doing like Dickies button-ups now that like breathe a little bit better. But like for last year's touring and stuff, like my stage shirt was made out of a trench coat. So it's like thick.
Yeah.
Damn.
It doesn't breathe. So when you're out there and you're playing covered in acrylic paint, wearing a trench coat like fucking top with your whole face painted and dreads down to your fucking ass, it's like you might as well be in the oven.
Yeah.
You know, but whatever. I enjoy it. I can't wait to get back to doing it. This COVID shit's killing me.
Yeah.
About 9 months since we've been on stage.
Yeah, that's something I was gonna, because I know how hardcore you guys are into touring. I was gonna ask, you know, what's been going on with the COVID situation and everything, because I actually even had tickets to see you guys in Chesterfield, Michigan, at the Diesel Lounge with Jungle Rot.
Jungle Rot. I helped put that show together. Man, we just kept getting faked out by it. At this point, we just canceled the rest of the year. I don't care what anybody says. We're not playing it.
Yeah.
Because what happened with us is we got back in like the middle of December from touring with 6 Feet Under over in Europe. And we were planning to take January and February off and March off. That was all like scheduled not to be a thing. So nothing was booked. We had to kind of recoup expenses, man. You know, a band our size doesn't make money going to Europe.
Right.
Especially, I mean, we were in a double-decker tour bus. like catering included every day. Like, there's no way we're making money.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to kind of recoup some personal stuff, and it was the holidays and it was cold out, so we didn't want to really tour anyway. In April, we were supposed to fly down to Texas. We were on Texas Independence Fest and the Houston date with Carnifex, Three Teeth,
Yes.
The Browning, and Scold.
Yep.
And we were on both those shows, and we had our plane tickets bought, and we had all the merch ordered, everything ready to go. We spent like a couple $100 in advertising, all that stuff. And then in March, they pulled the plug on it because of COVID. And I'm just like, man, are you serious? Like, I had never heard of anything being shut down. Like, in my whole life, you know, for anything. They had a million different scares, like, of viruses or, you know, whatever throughout my life. And they've never just, like, shut the country down.
Yeah.
And at that point, we're still thinking, okay, well, it's going to be shut down for a second, you know, 2 weeks, and we're good. We're going to get back out. And so we had a tour with you know, Filth and Casket Robbery and Blood of Angels, which was supposed to kick off in Canada in May. And that included like that Jungle Rot show and Toledo Death Fest and stuff in May originally. And you know, Spirit did not refund our ticket money for our plane tickets because they didn't actually cancel our flight. And so they're like, oh, well, we'll give you credits that you can use for these plane tickets. And it's like, okay, cool, we'll use them another time. But it has to be the same exact people that were supposed to be on this flight, even though I, you know, paid with my card for all the money kind of thing, or for all the tickets. So it was just kind of a pain in the ass. Ended up, we just kind of lost money on the plane tickets.
Nice.
And then obviously we had ordered all this merch that is, you know, now sitting in my apartment, and we have no shows now. And we had basically spent that money on advertising to really pump up a show that got canceled. You know, there's like no getting that back either. So we're out like, you know, thousands of dollars at this point. And we're like, well, this May tour, we're going to make it back up. It's going to be fine. So, you know, because like I said, I didn't know what to do about this whole like pandemic thing. I didn't know how long this was going to last or anything. So we had to prepare like, this tour is going to happen. So we ordered the rest of the merch for the full tour. I did all this extra advertising for Death Fest. And just, we had everything set up for it to be a huge tour. And again, the plug kind of got pulled on that one. So we're sitting, and we had, you know, some festivals lined up for like July and some festivals lined up for August, and just week after week we'd get emails. Hey, this is canceled. Hey, this is postponed. Hey, we'll let you know when there's another date. This is canceled. And we canceled all the way out, you know, and then they had started reopening stuff. And I even went to we went to meetings and stuff, like for the Detroit show, for the Toledo Death Fest, and, you know, the Joliet show that we were doing with Jungle Rot. You know, I was the one that set the weekend up with Jungle Rot's agent and everything. And, you know, I had a lot of money wrapped up in Death Fest, and my friend Aaron had a lot of money wrapped up in, you know, the Jungle Rot show in Detroit as well. And we just thought it was going to be really sick. So we rescheduled it for the end of July. It sounded like everything was going to be open. We got the green light from all the venues. So we started advertising it again. Like, yeah. And, you know, I even added Mushroom Head to Toledo Death Fest to like pump it up even more. And we ordered like Toledo Death Fest merch and all that stuff. And we bought a light show so we could add like lights and geysers and shit to our live show. And we did all this stuff, and plug got pulled again. And then we actually had a tour coming together for September. We were going to be opening for Judas Priest in Florida, and
Jesus.
Yeah, and like the whole plug got pulled on that as well. And you know, we had one more thing that was set up for Halloween, and I was just like, dude, fuck it. I'm not doing this anymore this year. we're just going to have to wait till the shit passes and they let us go back to work, basically. So, I mean, that's just kind of how this year has went for us, is it's just like every time we get our hopes up, a month later we get told never mind and we're out thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
3-4 times this year. So at this point, we're just like, well, we're going to sit back. We're going to advertise the stuff. We're going to keep putting out videos and content and stuff like that. We've been posting a bunch of playthroughs and stuff like that and stream videos. We have a new music video coming out here soon that we just recorded for One of the Dead off Monument of Misery. And it was cool. We worked with Austin Scherzberg. He drove down from Minnesota to Ohio to do this video.
Oh.
So super cool of him to do all that.
That's phenomenal.
We also had Zach Elston. He's an effects and makeup artist from Illinois, almost to like St. Louis. Drove all the way to Northwest Ohio to work with us on the video as well, because we want to do like a zombie video or like that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Zach worked on like the movie Float Trip. It's on Amazon Prime right now. He did the effects and stuff with that. And so we're like, cool, we got killer music video director. We've got a killer fucking makeup artist. And our buddy Cameron, he actually plays drums in a band called No Luck here in Toledo. It's like more of a rock thing than what we do. But he's been coming to our shows for a long time and stuff. And he calls me up when I was looking for a location. He's like, I got the perfect fucking place. So it's like out in the middle of nowhere, this giant barn, and we've got like a woods thing and some shots like inside grain silos and stuff. And I messaged a bunch of our fans and friends and stuff that were like around the area that I thought maybe would be free. And I ordered like a ton of pizzas and got a bunch of beer and all that kind of shit and was like, hey, come on out. Be in our music video. We're going to paint you up like a zombie and kill you. Like, awesome. So we ended up having like 15, 20 people that we knew come out, and we got to watch our friends like eat our friends basically. And they all got to like, you know, come be in something that's, you know, a part of the band and come be, you know, made up by like a professional makeup artist and stuff like that. And it was just a really cool thing for everybody. I don't know if you guys saw on Facebook or not, but I actually have a casket and we painted the whole thing black and put like that new emblem thing we had on it and stuff like that for the video as well. So we used like a real casket in the video. But which I bought that off a fan of ours in Ohio. It was actually the day before Michigan Metal Fest last year. He comes up to our merch table. He goes, "You guys got any use for a casket?" I mean, no, but yeah, probably. We'll figure something out. And he's like, "Well, I got one." Like, okay, a little weird, but cool. And he's like, "You know, do you guys want to like buy it from me?" And I'm thinking this dude's gonna tell me like thousands of dollars or some shit. Like, I have no idea what kind of shape it's in. I have no idea where this even came from. I don't really know this dude. I just know that he comes to our show sometimes. And he sold it to me for $20 and a t-shirt. All right. And
my God.
He lived like right around the street from the venue. So like we went and picked it up right after the show.
Oh.
And that like staff thing that I've been using with the little skull on top of it and stuff.
Yeah.
That was inside the casket, and he insisted it went with it. Like, this has to go with the casket. So we were like making jokes, like, oh, it's like haunted or some fucking shit. I don't know. Right. So what we started using the casket for on that tour, because we didn't really have a space for it. So we had to use it for something that's in the trailer. So we started storing all like the bones and stuff, like the props and stuff were all stored in this casket. And it would freak people out, like when we'd be loading into a venue. First thing that gets pulled out of a trailer is a casket.
Filled with bones.
Can imagine.
Yeah, and they open it up and there's bones. Well, we had to cross the border into Canada with this thing. And we get to the border and they're like, is there anything we should know about in the trailer? And Ron's just like, whoa, there's a casket. And they immediately were like shocked. And they're like, what? Why do you have a casket? You know, and we're like, oh, we're a band. And they're like, what's in it? And Ron's like, bones. And, we ended up being detained for 4.5 hours.
Oh my God.
Over the whole thing. They let us through. They eventually let us through. But yeah, we were being detained for a minute. In like a really small little like weird lobby. And really all we did was stand there and talk shit to them until they got sick of us. like either send us back or let us through. Like there's no reason we should still be here.
Right.
So I mean that's how we ended up getting that, but yeah, man, it's just weird shit on the road sometimes, man. But the video turned out, I think, really cool. I'm waiting for the final back from Austin, so that'll be coming back. I spent the day today with our graphic designer, putting the finishing touches on. We made a like 35-minute video of the making of Monument of Misery. It was all shit that we were honestly supposed to release like when the album came out, but we're slackers sometimes, and we got kind of busy with the shows and the tours and stuff like that, and then just trying to make everything like just run smoothly with the release and everything, that it kind of just went to the wayside. So now that we've been having a lot of time to sit here and work on stuff, we put that together, and it's got a lot of footage at the beginning from like the touring that we did right before we recorded in Canada with the Breathing Process and My Own Will. And then we had Chris Donaldson from Cryptopsy gets on there. He produced the record, and he was talking about what it was like to work with us. There's interviews with all the band members about the record on there. There's footage of all the members recording their parts on there. There's also Matt Magaki from Cryptopsy talking about his guest spots on there. So I think it turned out really cool. Hopefully that'll be out as well as the video in the coming weeks. And we still have some plans to do some interesting videos for the remaining 3 songs we haven't turned into singles from this record as we continue to write the new one. And next year will be our 10 years as a band.
Yeah.
So congrats, man. That's sick.
We have a DVD in the works for like the first decade of the band. We're going to be talking to promoters that have booked us, bands that have toured with us, old band members, current band members, our label, everybody, and we're hoping that we get to tour next year. As long as that happens, we do have plans for a full North American 10-year anniversary tour, where we're hoping to play at least a few songs off everything from the process on. So bringing back some songs that we haven't played in probably 4 years.
Deep cuts. Yeah,
some stuff like everything from the process on, all the full lengths. And we have some cool guest spots and stuff lined up for the new record as well, and we're gonna just try some stuff that's like outside our normal comfort zone as a band, and just throwing around a bunch of different ideas to obviously the goal is to top Monument of Misery by like as much as we topped This Is Hell by. So Monument of Misery hit number 8 on the Billboard Heat Seekers. We want the next one in the top 200. Like we're really, really trying to move up. That, and we were a little, I can't say disappointed because we're still like stoked, but we hit number 3 on the metal albums on iTunes. And it's like, okay, we're number 3 out of all the albums on iTunes and metal right now. That's sick.
Yeah.
The only ones that were in front of us were Metallica's The Black Album was number 2. And He Is Legend's new album, White Bat, that had come out the same day, was number 1. And
it's interesting.
just the fact that we only got to 3 and we never hit 1, like, even for a second, was kind of like, well, this next one has to. Like, this next one absolutely has to hit number 1. There's nowhere else to go, really. Number 2 would be a disappointment. So, like, we're always just trying to find new ways to get our name out there, and like just new ideas to kind of get outside of the box, you know, even with merch and stuff. Just whatever we can do, man. I mean, it's so hard for bands to get out there anymore.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, with everybody being able to record like a sick sounding album at home, it makes going to a studio for a lot of bands almost unnecessary. Which means, you know, 80% of the bands out there can probably make a good studio pro sounding album.
Yeah.
Instead of 10 years ago, you had to have like some money, some backing, and like whatever, go make a real album. You could tell like a band that recorded at home versus a band that went and paid money for this record.
Yes.
And now there's really not so much that discrepancy there.
Yeah.
It's really across the board, man. It's like these new bands are coming out and their first single ever is sick. Just badass. Like, huge production, pro music video, and it's just not as expensive to do that stuff as it used to be. So me as like an old school dude, like trying to adapt to everything being digital. I mean, like, even to talk to you guys today, I had to download Skype. This is the first time I've been on Skype in like 10 years. So it's yeah, everything's just constantly changing, man. We're just trying to stay with it. I would really like to get involved in like movies and TV, but that's a hard road to get into as like a corpse painted death metal band.
Even though it shouldn't be.
Yeah. No, I agree. Sometimes you'll get like something really cool to happen, like Cannibal Corpse was on Ace Ventura. That's fucking that's awesome. What was that movie? Bright? Did you guys see that on Netflix?
Bright. Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh,
it was Will Smith and like some like goblin dude or whatever.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, there were cops. Yeah, there was in the one crowd of people, somebody was wearing a Carnifex hat, like one of the Defend Death Metal hats.
Hell yeah.
And the dude turned on Cannibal Corpse in the car.
Nice.
Will Smith made him turn it off right away. So it's just kind of one of those, I would like to get into that kind of thing, but we're still trying to find our way into that whole scenario.
I feel like a lot of times with that sort of stuff, like it's a lot of like not so much like the major movies, but it's a lot of like sort of like independent movies that are kind of pushing to add extra, you know, metal elements or like different songs into it stuff. I don't know why that kind of like isn't a thing anymore as far as like major movies pushing heavy music.
Mean, it is, but they're taking like bands that are already huge.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, you'll see like with wrestling, it's like, oh, who wrote the wrestling theme song?
That's true.
Slipknot and Code Orange.
Yeah.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
But Katie actually did just write the keys for one of the AEW intros for Abaddon the Monster, the wrestler.
Dude, that's
her,
sick.
like keyboard like intro part was Katie.
Oh, that's awesome.
She was part of a collaboration with some other musicians, but yeah, that was killer. I just did a track with Vocils, an Idol that just came out the other day. I know he's heading back out to California to.
Hold on 1 second, guys.
Try
Sorry,
to do
my
that again.
headphones just died. Hold on 1 second. Oh, there we go. We're back. Sorry. A little technical difficulty. Well, I'm sorry. What were you saying? Oh wait,
Oh,
what? Whoa, what's
hang
going on? Hold on. Now,
Good catch.
Normally there's a All right, sorry.
and we're back.
Right on. So yeah, I mean, I guess like that's really what we have coming up. Like I said, we're working on the new record. Stoked about it so far. We've got skeletons for a good handful of songs.
Awesome.
I think some of the stuff's heavier than anything we've done before.
Mm.
But we're also trying to experiment with new things, like we usually do.
Yeah, one of my honestly one of my favorite parts on Monument of Misery was when I can't remember the track name, but it's when Katie came in with clean vocals, just on like a hook.
Actually, that's funny. She just does the backing harmony.
Yeah.
That's actually Toby singing.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Toby does the clean vocals for One of the Dead.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't
Katie
know
was
that.
in there as like a layer in the background,
Uh-huh.
and actually so is Zach.
Oh wow.
But yeah, the main vocal part is Toby.
Wow.
You
That
guys-
blows my mind.
Do you guys all do backing stuff, like, or just extra vocal stuff? Or
Actually, I think everybody in our band is capable of doing vocals.
Mhm. That's a cool dynamic to have.
But yeah, so I mean, like, we get shit from sound guys sometimes because they're like, "How many mics do you need for vocals?" And we're like, 4. And they're just like, "What the fuck? Why? You're a deathcore band." But like, you know, I do all the main screaming vocals. Ron does the live backing screaming vocals. I do all of the screaming on the record though. And so Ron does the backup screaming live. Katie does the female clean vocals, and Toby does the male clean vocals. So at least we have the dynamic to vocally do pretty much whatever we want.
Yeah.
Which is
That's
really
good.
cool. You can really push an album wherever you want to at that point.
Yeah.
I feel like vocals is a big thing that holds a lot of bands back from really pushing outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, you know, if it doesn't sound good, it's a really risky move to, like, if you've been a band that's been primarily screaming or all screaming, and then you throw in some clean vocals, that can potentially be really, really shitty as far as your fans are concerned. Or, you know, it can pay off huge like it did for Whitechapel. You know,
Yeah.
Phil started singing, it's badass, and I
Yeah.
think they're bigger than they ever have been since that stuff came out. So I think it's cool. I think clean vocals in deathcore are fine. I don't understand the elitist look on it where it's like, no, you're only doing this forever. It's like, how do you expect a band to have 10 albums or more and you listen to them for like a long time and it's not boring yet?
Right.
If you're not allowed to do anything outside of this specific subgenre.
To me, I think like the biggest band that's kind of added that in that like I didn't really expect to do it. That's kind of moving the needle is Cattle Decapitation. Specifically, like Death Atlas stuff, like mostly like just Travis Ryan, like his vocal style, but like just how he's kind of within the last few records, they've really kind of added that sort of like, you know, like that kind of vocal style of things. It really adds an interesting element to their sound.
Oh yeah, that Death Atlas album was perfection.
Yes.
Yeah.
That may be the greatest death metal album ever, to be real. Like, there is not a bad second on that song.
Nope.
On that whole album.
Nope. Absolutely obsessed with it.
And Travis, I mean, dude, it's been in my car for like since it came out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the day the pre-order came in, like ran out. Like, okay, gotta hear this right now.
Yeah.
So, and has not left the car since. But we toured with Cattle Decap in 2016 over in Europe. With Abiotic was on the tour, Suffocation was on the tour.
Oh.
It was our first time ever over there.
Oh wow.
And
Was Was it Suffocation with Frank, or was this after?
It was Suffocation with Ricky.
Okay.
Frank was not gone yet, but he didn't do that tour.
Yeah.
We actually knew Ricky because we had toured with Disgorge prior, and he's the drummer for Disgorge also. But oh yeah, but dude, like seeing Travis do vocals every night, Jesus Christ, dude, it like makes you not even want to be a vocalist anymore. You know, because it's like just crushing it every single day. And this was like 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So this is even before the last like 2 albums, basically. And he's just killing it.
Yeah.
I'd say hands down he's probably one of the best, if not the best vocalist in like extreme metal right now. For sure.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree.
For sure.
I've been, that album. I mean, full disclosure, that's kind of like the album. Death Atlas is kind of the album I found them on, but I immediately fell in love with it so much. I went back through their entire discography and got every single one. And yeah, I've been absolutely obsessed with Cattle Decapitation since Death Atlas came out. Yeah.
I think I started listening to him. I think I found him on Humanure. Like way back then, and
I love that cover.
Yeah, and that's the cover is why I picked it up. I was like, "What in the hell is this?" And I listened to it, and I was almost like, "What the fuck am I hearing right now?" Because it was like still like super grindy. Like the whole Cattle Decapitation was super like all over the place, and it was just like a lot.
Yeah.
And I can't say I was super into it like initially. The first one that I heard that I was like, "Oh wow, these guys are amazing," was the Harvest Floor.
That was my introduction
when
to
that
him.
came out. I was just like, okay, I love Cattle, and every album since then has been just immaculate. But prior to that, there's some stuff that I really like, and there's some stuff that's a bit far for me. I think, but when you dive into any band's like discography and you go back 10, 12 years or something, you're going to find some stuff that you're like, whoa, that's unexpected.
Yeah.
You just didn't really know about. So,
yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I kind of feel the same way. Yeah.
I just remember hearing Harvest Floor for the first time, and like there's I think it was like the first or second song that's got like the gravity blast in it. And when I first heard that, like I was like, what is this? Like that's so fast. And it's so
the honestly our song Strip Them of Faith, it's got like that like chorus like type thing towards the beginning where it's like layered screaming vocals, and I'm like changing notes and stuff with the screams. I don't think that part would have ever happened had I not listened to so much Cattle Decapitation over the years. Like listening to Travis like just really inspired like the way I do high vocals. Absolutely.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Hell yeah.
You guys put out two singles this year? I could be wrong about that.
We haven't actually put out anything new. Like it's all stuff from Monument of Mystery. We just keep making new videos for it.
Right.
Yeah. Putting it out again.
I think that's kind of what it was, because I remember seeing the video you were talking about, and then I think the Virus was the other one.
Yeah, the Virus we released on New Year's Day.
Okay, yeah, I think I remember seeing that.
But with basically what we've been doing is we released Monument of Misery, and it got a really good push right when it came out. Like I even had like billboards put up around Toledo. Like with the fucking like the monster the album cover on it with the release date and stuff, and it was like popping up at like main intersections all over Toledo. Digital billboards and stuff. And we did the big CD release tour, and the tour was phenomenal. We did the House of Suffering tour after that, and played like the most unforgettable show I think we ever played, the Blue Ridge Rock Festival. We got down there, and we were set to headline like the second stage, but they only had 2 stages, and the 2 stages were right next to each other. So it was like the main stage, like, you know, right here, and then the side stage was like right here. And they massive stages. And we were supposed to headline our stage. Well, Hell Yeah dropped off because I think it was because Vinnie Paul died. I'm not sure if that was the reasoning at that point or what exactly it was. Or I don't know, it was some kind of complication with Hell Yeah. And they couldn't make it. And it was like super last minute. And then they moved around a bunch of bands on like our stage, and we didn't really know what was going on. We pull up there and they're like, okay, you're headlining the side stage. So we got like a nighttime slot. And we played in between Tech Nine and A Day to Remember.
What?
Damn.
When we played in front of 26,000 people.
Dude,
It was just
Shit.
like a sea of never-ending people into the darkness, basically.
Oh my god.
And we were by miles the heaviest band there.
Oh,
Of like the entire weekend.
Shit.
I was gonna say, like, because I'm kind of a fan of both, like both Tech Nine and A Day to Remember to a certain degree, and like to imagine like being somebody that's there for them, and then just to kind of like see you guys and stuff is just like, I imagine it's probably what is happening?
really, really fucking nerve-wracking because like during the day, like Cold played, fucking 10 Years, Hinder,
Wow.
Soil, Flaw, they had Beartooth, they had Of Mice and Men, and then like Tech Nine played, and he's like, we got one more for you guys, and then his music cut off because he was over his time. They cut off Tech Nine.
What?
And he goes, I guess we don't. And he like throws the mic, and then they look at us on our stage, and they're like, you're up, start playing. It's like, dude, you just pissed off 20,000 people.
The fuck?
And
That's
like,
awkward.
it was super weird because we were sitting on our stage like enjoying his show.
Yeah.
Like, man, he's killing it. This is cool. Like, and that was the third time we had played with Tech Nine last year.
Oh
Because
wow.
we played with him at the Gathering of the Juggalos, and we played with him at Rocklahoma as well.
Oh.
So, you know, we're fans and we're watching them. And all of a sudden it like cuts off and they're like, you're on right now, start. And it's just like, oh, fuck. Okay. And then you see like 20,000 people just turn and look at our stage. And it's like, well, this is the most people that have ever paid attention to us at once.
Right.
You know, we've played shows where there's been more than that many people there.
Yeah.
But never that we're all looking at us at the same time. And I mean, we did like a Wall of Death. And there was actually two separate ones, like one on either side of the stage.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And we had 6 circle pits that were separate at once. And I was just like, it was just a life-changing moment. You're like autopilot almost in front of a crowd like that. And that was just a fucking game changer, man. But we finished out that tour. ICP had us up for Hollow Wicked in Detroit. Then we did a hometown show with Whitechapel and Atreyu, and then headed to Europe with 6 Feet Under, and it was like so many huge things, just like bam, 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 bam in a row. And then we had so much big stuff lined up this year to like build off it. And I feel like with COVID and shit, we just like hit a brick wall. It's like, okay, we're gonna sit here and wait. You know, like
Yeah.
clears up. Our next touring is booked for February, so I'm just fingers crossed on that.
So are we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping 6 months from now we'll be able to play shows. The fact that that's still not even a guaranteed thing is just kind of scary, honestly.
It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So
How just uncertain everything is right now. I can imagine, like, you know, with you guys mostly primarily touring to, you know, to fund everything, like, it's got to be something that's pretty nerve-wracking to a point.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an important thing. But yeah, we're trying to adapt to not. It's going to help us in the long run, regardless. Even when touring comes back, yes, we are going to be back on the road like all the time. Yes, we have a million things planned for next year. We have things planned for 2022 already. So we're going to be busy when this comes back around and it's, it's back open and everything. And we have been working on the stage show and adding things, and we're hoping to come back with like a full production. We had plans to do a show in Michigan, actually at a racetrack, in September.
Is it what's the name of that racetrack?
No, it was I-96 Speedway.
Oh, okay. All right.
We were gonna play out there, and that was gonna be the first show that we ever used pyrotechnics at. We were gonna shoot up fire. And canceled. But hopefully next year we can make it happen. It's a goal. At this point, man, we have been pushing our album as hard as we are capable of. The reason we've been putting out single after single after single off just Monument of Misery is because we got this halt in the touring, and didn't really feel like the album got its full due on the road. So we figured that instead of pushing the same 3 singles that we've been pushing out on the road, that we've been playing live, that there's a million live videos of us playing, that we would take the rest of the songs and once a month or once every couple months or whatever, put it out as its own single again. I mean, it's still off Monument of Misery. You still got to buy the album to get it. It's still associated with Monument of Misery. But it's pretty much shining light on every individual track on the record. So it can really thoroughly get to the fans. Because I'm not gonna lie, I do the same shit. A band's new album comes out, I'll listen to maybe 1 or 2 tunes off it, and if I'm not super into it after 1 or 2 tunes, I'm probably gonna put it aside and listen to something else. But when it's coming out at you 1 song at a time, really you're gonna hear the whole album. Even if you never picked up the album and threw it in and listened to the whole thing front to back, you have now heard the entire album. So if there was anything on that record that you liked about this band, it's gonna get to you. So that's kind of the approach that we've been taking. We've discussed doing the Patreon thing. It's impossible really for us to do a live stream concert. We have 2 members living in 2 different parts of Texas. We have 2 members living in Michigan and 2 members living in Ohio. So to get together, get a venue that we can use, get a sound guy to do it, get the video people there to set it up and have it be a good quality, and then set up the streaming thing. I mean, we're never going to sell enough tickets, I guess, to watch it. I mean, I wouldn't pay to watch a concert on my computer, honestly, unless it was something super exclusive, my favorite band ever, then maybe. But part of the thing that I like about seeing a band live is, seeing a band live.
Yes, being in the room, of course.
I want to be there. I want my ears to hurt. I want to feel the, the kick drum in your chest.
Yes.
I want to be there with everybody when the whole amphitheater is singing along. And that energy there. You don't get that from sitting at home and watching it on your TV.
No, you don't.
And and I feel like us doing our show on a live stream even wouldn't do our show justice.
I
feel like
agree.
You gotta be there.
Sure.
And every show's a little different. Even if we're playing the same set, we're doing everything a little different and trying to top ourselves from the night before. So if you see us a month into a tour, you're going to see a different show than if you saw us a week into the tour.
Yes.
Even if it's the same tunes.
That is definitely one thing I would say about you guys is I've never, ever seen the same show twice, no matter how many times I've seen you. That's 100%. Yeah.
I mean, there's things that we do that are expected,
Mhm.
You're gonna see that staff come out. You're gonna see blood sprayed everywhere. You're gonna get the corpse paint. Katie's always gonna have something dead hanging out the front of her keyboard. Like,
you have signature things.
Yeah, you have to have those things.
We
Just
love
like,
that.
I grew up. My first real like concert that I went to was Alice Cooper. I saw him at the Toledo Zoo in like 2003. So I was like 12 years old. And I went and saw Alice Cooper, and the dude cut his own head off with a guillotine. And I was just like,
yes.
Oh my God, what?
Yeah.
Like, and just so many things in the Alice Cooper show. And I thought maybe, Alice Cooper wasn't as cool as I remembered because I was 12. And I went and saw him again in 2016, and it blew me away just like all over again. Like, this is one of the best shows that's out there.
Yeah. To this day.
To this day. Dude's like 70 years old, killing it.
Still, yeah.
Still chopping his own fucking head off every night.
Absolutely. I mean, whoever thought of that is a genius.
Yeah.
As well. So, I mean, we opened for King Diamond at Mayhem, and that show was fucking... I was excited about seeing Slayer until I watched King Diamond play for an hour and a half. All right, like, King Diamond was so good, I was like content.
Wow.
Like, that was the concert. Sick. And like, don't get me wrong, I watched Slayer and jammed out. But King Diamond just blew me away. I never thought I'd get to see him play.
Yeah.
I grew up in that album, Them, the concept album.
Mm-hmm.
That was like one of my favorite, still is one of my favorite albums, period, of all time. The vocal range is insane.
Yeah.
The concept album, the whole story is insane. And the music kicks ass. King Diamond kicks ass. And I'll never forget it. We were sitting on Virginia Beach. We were on just a headline tour. And we were sponsored by Cold Cock Whiskey when that was still a thing. I don't know if it's still a thing. It just kind of fell off. But for a minute, like, every band there was a Cold Cock Whiskey band. Like it used to be Jägermeister. Everybody would be a Jaeger band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to be a Jaeger band, but Jaeger quit doing it by the time that we were old enough to be a Jaeger band.
Aw.
So we but I guess, I don't know, something happened where Cold Cock started doing it with their new whiskey, and we got sponsored. And we were on Virginia Beach on this like shitty headline tour. It was like our day off or something. And our manager is like, yeah, dude, I'm about to call you. I'm sitting in this hot ass bus. Like, and finally, after like an hour passed when he was supposed to call me for our like meeting that week or whatever, I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to go jump in the ocean. I'm done with this shit. Like, I'll call him back, whatever. I took my phone with me, but I like walked onto the beach, threw my boots down. I was going to throw my phone like in my boots, so I could go jump in the water or whatever. And it's him. He's calling me, and I'm like, great. Now I got to stand here on the beach, trying to talk to this dude. It's like people yelling and shit. And he goes, dude, sorry I'm late. I have great news. Like, what's that? And he goes, Cold Cock Whiskey made you the Cold Cock band for Mayhem Fest in Pittsburgh. It's in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we're like, what? And he goes, you're opening for Slayer and King Diamond. He's like, we can announce it tomorrow. I'm like, holy shit, dude. It was like the most, and he had not called me because he was on the phone with Cold Cock. And I was just like, I thought he was just like blowing me off. I'm like, fuck this. Like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Ended up being like the craziest news ever. But yeah, just so weird to be setting up in like Whitechapel's park next to you, and I already merged next to them, and it's just like,
God.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to be here, or where do we go?
Yeah. Was that, because I guess like the other thing I was thinking like is, I mean, with all the touring and with being a band for close to 10 years, like there's got to be that thing that happens where it's like you kind of like hit this like peak, and I feel like I don't know, is there like a certain thing that sticks out to you, or a couple of different things that's like for one, like that kind of made you realize like this was something that was gonna like go the distance, and maybe like something else that kind of happened that was like in between that like solidified it a bit?
Honestly, like our first couple years, like I'd say through like the Memories album and the Unmasking the Betrayer album, really I don't feel like we got much traction, and honestly, rightfully so. Those albums were not as good as they could have been. The members weren't as dedicated at the time as any of us probably could have been or should have been, and it just wasn't a very professional setup. We kind of started getting our act together with the process, so I would like to say that was our first album, but the other two are out there. But we don't like to claim them as much anymore. But the process, it really stepped up and became a serious thing, and that's when I started noticing like we started selling a lot more merch, and people started like knowing the words to our songs, and at least in like our local area, like we do Toledo, we do Lansing a lot, we do Detroit a lot, like Fort Wayne a lot. You guys are from Lansing, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we used to play at Black and Moon Concert Hall.
Oh my God.
I remember that place.
Wow.
So we used to play there all the time. And that's kind of one of the venues that we started out at, was that place.
That's insane, man.
That must have been like just before they closed, or
yeah. I remember they closed that because we had one of our shows canceled because they closed. I remember that. And yeah. That Bon Jasso or whatever, he messaged me online. He's like, "Hey man, the club's closing down. It really sucks." And I was super bummed. They had that sick like death metal store.
Yeah.
Like, attached to it.
Yeah.
They always had like so much of just the coolest shit in there.
Yeah.
But yes. Yeah, I mean, we started out playing there a lot. And then we would play like little dive bars in Toledo. We played Harpo's in Detroit a couple times. Our first show ever playing they used to do the thing where they'd make you play on the side stage.
Right.
The side stage.
Yeah. Big quotes around that.
Yeah. And we played that side stage a couple times up there. But the Convalescence, the first time we played Harpo's, we got the main stage slot because we sold like fucking like 80 tickets or something from Toledo. And it was us, the Contortionist, Conducting from the Grave, Flesh God Apocalypse, Carnifex, and All Shall Perish. And it was like 2011, so it was like right when that last All Shall Perish album came out.
Yeah.
So that's like right when you guys started too.
Yeah, I think that was literally like maybe our 5th show.
Wow.
Something like that. So we were swinging for the fences right away. We just weren't ready to be there. So we almost had to like, I feel like with like the process and Poison Words, we had made a lot of new fans from those records that didn't know about us before. Like we had to kind of re-win over like a bunch of people that did know about us. Like, because people were like, "Man, this band sucks. They sound like shit." Like, whatever. And we had canceled a lot of shows because we went through like a lot of early member changes as well.
Yeah.
So like we'd post a tour, and like 3 weeks later we'd cancel the tour, and like it was like just a really rough start. But once it got rolling, it was like uphill from there. So yeah, I think that it really like got serious, and I started noticing like real fans happening for the process. And then we got off Ferocious Records and signed to 313 Entertainment Group, which is like part of E1. We signed with them, and that was the first time we ever used a real publicist. And they got that song Reflections was like our debut single from Poison Words, and they put that shit everywhere. Like it was getting radio play all of a sudden on like different stations, and it was like the most views we had on a YouTube video like initially ever, which looking back is not very much, but at the time it was.
Yeah.
And, we debuted it through Revolver.
Ooh.
So like Revolver debuted it for us, and that's when everybody like kind of paid attention all of a sudden, like, oh shit,
Mhm.
who are these guys? And right before the album came out is when we went to Europe for the first time with Suffo and Cattle. We came back and did South by Southwest. And then after our whole like CD release tour for Poison Words, our label had set us up. We played at Rockfest in Wisconsin, and there was like 54,000 in attendance. Slipknot was the headliner. Five Finger Death Punch played. Bullet for My Valentine played. In This Moment, Atreyu, All That Remains. And we were on like the third stage, like the small stage, but it was by the beer truck, so there was like good traffic over there, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they actually put us on at the same time as I Prevail was playing on another stage, and it was like right when they first started like really going.
Yeah.
So a lot of people wanted to see I Prevail over us, and because the main stage would play, and then the second and third stages would play at the same time, and then the main stage would play again.
That's kind of weird.
And so we actually played in between Bullet for My Valentine and Five Finger Death Punch.
Okay.
But we played during I Prevail.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did to get people to come over, because nobody knew who the hell we were in like northern Wisconsin, is we got the people that were doing like the hook suspension to bring this chick over and suspend her from hooks like right off like the front of the stage.
Oh, holy shit.
And like
That's
she's
cool.
like flailing around and shit, and we're spraying blood and doing our show. And all of a sudden, we had a lot of people interested in what the fuck we were doing over there. So we tried to make a good impression at that show. And then, like 2 weeks later, we opened for Disturbed and Breaking Benjamin at DTE. And we played in the parking lot. Okay.
Oh, yes. That's the best place.
That's
yeah. Played in the parking lot stage. I think it was like us, Paralandra, and Blue Felix out there. And then inside was Saint Asonia, Alter Bridge, Breaking Benjamin, and Disturbed.
Okay.
And DTE was like sold out for that show. So even the parking lot was sick. But like while we were playing, you could absolutely tell who the Disturbed fans were and who the Breaking Benjamin fans were. Like, it was like almost an even split. Like you had like all these people in this Disturbed shirts and like Slipknot and Korn shirts and shit, like you would expect, like losing their shit up by the stage. And then you had like everyone else, like, are they going to open the gates to the main stage yet? I really don't want to see this. So, but it went over. It went over super fucking well. And we played Dirt Fest with Killswitch and shit in Pontiac that year. And, you know, so we had just like a lot of cool stuff thanks to that label lined up. And we ended up, you know, parting ways with them because we signed with Unique Leader, which we're like, oh man, we got a big label deal. Sick. And it really helped us out a lot. And we ended up getting on tours with like, went out with Testament and Sepultura on like a 19-date run. And got to play the New England Metal and Hardcore Festival. We did 2 tours with OTEP. Well, 1 2/3 tours with OTEP.
Yeah.
And that was a whole fiasco. And then we did Summer Slaughter in Cincinnati. So I got to see Black Dahlia play Nocturnal cover to cover. And that was just that made my day.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then we went and we did a full U.S. tour with Venom and Goat Whore and Toxic Holocaust.
Wow.
And so it was just like back to back to back that year, just a huge shit. The OTEP thing super boosted us. Like, because really what it was is we were never trying to start a fight.
Right.
You know, it was the band stopped getting along.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she stopped getting along with us. I guess we were kind of over a lot of the stupid rules that she was putting on us for the tour, and it seemed like there was new shit popping up like every day or every other day that we had to, oh, here's this new rule. Like, And it was just to the point we weren't allowed to sell merch during her set, even though we played right before her. So we'd have like a line of people, but as soon as she started her set, we had to refuse to sell any of the merch until after the show was over.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just so much shit.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, after we got done playing, we were no longer allowed backstage. Like any of that kind of stuff. You know, we asked, we're like, when do we meet OTEP? Because we were like maybe 2.5 weeks into tour as her direct support, and we had hung out all the time with like her whole band. Just she would never leave her bus unless it was like time to play. And her security guy said as soon as we buy a meet and greet, we can meet OTEP.
What?
So after about 70 shows of that, and then getting like in trouble for allegedly selling a T-shirt at the Token Lounge, like while she was playing.
So I was in Michigan.
Yeah, that started in Michigan. The whole issue that led to us to pick up that tour was in Michigan. What had really happened was, somebody had bought a shirt from us earlier in the night and asked if we could hold it behind the merch table. So like they had already paid for it and everything. We said, yeah, sure, come get it whenever. Well, they came and got it like as OTEP was starting her first song, and they didn't want to stay for OTEP, so they're like, "Hey, give me my shirt," and I'm out. We're like, and our merch girl gave him the shirt and walked out. Well, OTEP saw that shirt go over the table, and like just started flipping about it. And you know, because even if we did, God forbid the band that's direct supporting you that you're not paying $1 to for any of this touring, God forbid we sold a T-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, but and I've been on so many tours, and that is the only tour ever that I've ever heard of that shit.
Absolutely.
You know, so
absolutely
big time kind of like
yeah. I mean, we've had bands that like, hey, turn your merch lights off. You can still sell, but like we're trying to create like
an atmosphere
a thing in here, you know, and that's fine.
Yeah,
absolutely fine. We have never argued about that. I've had bands, hey, we're gonna price match merch. Cool. Okay. I'm down. I'm always for that. But I've never until that tour had somebody go, you're not allowed to sell merch.
I've never walked up to a merch booth and then be like, sorry, we can't sell you a T-shirt while this band is playing.
Yeah. No,
we never happened.
We had to turn away literally throughout those 2 tours, probably tens of thousands of dollars worth of sales. And that's how we were living on the tour. We were only getting paid in merch.
Right.
So, so that was a kind of a thing that we were just at that point like, fuck this. And then there was, you know, we got to talk face to face, and we both had words that each other didn't like to say to each other, and that was the end of that tour. And we actually had to go inside at this venue in Pittsburgh and tear our backline back down off stage while the local band was sound checking. Like,
wow.
Take our backline down behind them because we got kicked off the tour before the show after we had loaded in.
Damn.
So in front of all these people and shit, and with this local band on stage, we had to like tear our gear down off the stage and like tear our merch down and all that shit. So we left that, and like the post that we put up was it was just basically like, hey, this is why we're not on the tour anymore. This is what caused the issue. You know, sorry, we're gonna miss these last 12 dates. We're gonna try to make these up to you guys. And that was all it was supposed to be. This wasn't supposed to be like we're taking shots, because, dude, I mean, like, way back when I was a teenager, I used to fucking listen to OTEP, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she was a big deal for like a lot of years, and you got to respect that as like an artist, or, you know, and just anybody in the music community that's, you know, that they have that kind of, you know, longevity to be that big for that many years.
Sure.
And then when we posted that shit like on our way home from Pittsburgh. It's like a 5-hour drive back to my house.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I got home, that post had 7,000 reactions.
Shit.
And it was just like everywhere. And by the time I got home, that shit was on Rock Feed.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, fuck. Like, and then like, she made a post. And then she started commenting on our post and talking shit. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, fuck. Like, our initial thing was we thought we were fucked. We're like, there's no way, like, us as a band is going to be able to, like, withstand, I guess, somebody that's been big for 15 years being like, fuck you. Yeah, we thought we were screwed.
Yeah.
And I was up, like, half the night that night, like, reading things, you know, and I woke up in the morning, and it was like, you know, Loudwire tagged you, Metal Injection tagged you, Metal Sucks tagged you, Lamb Goat tagged you, and I was just like, oh, fuck. It was like, before I even read it, I was like, this is either going to be awesome or the end of our career.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gotta open them notifications and be like, let's see how this goes. Mm-hmm. And it was all really positive for us.
Yep.
And then came all the videos of people burning OTEP merch, listening to our music, and like on Facebook Live and shit. And then it was like, fucking, man, it was just, there was so much going on. And then people were like buying so much merch from us online, and it was just really overwhelming, I guess. And then I saw Metal Sucks, This Week in Metal, and they got like the host person, and we were the top story.
Yep. I
and
remember
I was
that.
Like, oh man, how are we on This Week in Metal right now? Because it was like us, and then it was some band that like never made an album after like creating a GoFundMe for their album and collecting all this money.
Oh, damn.
And then it was like Corey Taylor and Chad Kroger talking shit to each other.
Yeah.
So I was like, how are we in the mix here with this? I just couldn't believe how big that got. And now it's just like everybody knows about that. That's how everybody heard about our band now. So
it's cool that like after all that, kind of going through that stuff, especially like with so much of like the, you know, the shots and stuff, like the back and forth, and then eventually dropping off the tour, like you guys ended up on the upside of it. And
we probably got more attention and more new fans from being on all those news articles and from the drama of that shit than we would have finishing the tour.
Yeah.
To be real.
Actually,
And, you know, to this day, I mean, I have zero problems with anybody in that band. It was a bummer to have it end that way, because those were some of like the coolest tours that we had done, you know, and I'm thankful that we got to do them, even though it went down the way it did, and that we were able to come out of that and continue to push forward after that.
That's real.
But yeah, I mean, the two things, and it's so stupid because we've written so many like full-length albums of original shit and like pushed that so hard. But the two biggest things everybody says, well, I heard of the Convalescence, is you're that band that pissed off OTEP. Or I heard that Korn cover y'all did. Those two. Those two things are the one every time. And I mean, the Korn cover did go over a lot better than I expected it to.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's sick, but
it was a really rushed, like, last minute thing. We actually recorded that on an off day while we were on tour.
Oh wow.
We had to drive from, we had finished our tour with Forces and Alica. And that tour ended in basically Fort Wayne. And we had 3 days off, and our next show was to meet up with the tour with, it was us, Discarnate, Lorna Shore, and the Faceless.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I remember. And we had to meet up with that tour in New Orleans. So we had to drive from Fort Wayne to New Orleans. With 3 days off. So our producer that had actually recorded The Process, Poison Words, and This Is Hell had just moved to Nashville and was like in like a rental studio that he was using to do shit for people. And I called him up like, dude, you want to record this cover for us real quick? And you know, like we actually got the rights to use it from Korn, and you know, so props to our manager for making that happen. And
Oh yeah.
just we got the green light on it. We stopped on the one off day and we recorded the whole song and sent it up to Chris Donaldson to mix and master it. And it was really just a thing because we had switched from, we got dropped by Unique Leader Records less than a year after This Is Hell even came out. I think once the album came out, we were on their label for like 6 months.
Okay.
And then they were like, this isn't working. Like, they, you know, they wanted us to like change a lot of shit we weren't willing to change. So we walked. No hard feelings with them either. And then we signed with our manager's new label, Legend Recordings, Chris Bianchi, and he couldn't really do anything for us from the label because we hadn't released anything through the label. And This Is Hell was still pretty new, so it was like too soon to release like a full another album.
Right.
But we had all this touring coming up. And so we had kind of had a meeting. We're like, if we do a cover, like a legit cover, will the label start pushing us? And we can announce that we're on Legend and stuff with that cover. And he's like, yeah, that'll work. And then it blew up. Like 50,000 on YouTube, over 100,000 on Spotify. And it's now been in like full rotation on Liquid Metal for like 2 years. So like They play it every single day. So that blew me away because we didn't even talk to XM Radio about it. They just started playing it. Like, I had no idea, and I got a call from one of my friends like, you are not going to believe what I just heard on the radio.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I start getting all these pictures and shit, like, of people's car stereos. And then for some reason they put it on there and it comes up as the Convalescence versus Korn Coming Undone. And I'm like, whatever, but we like Korn. That's why we did this cover.
Yeah.
But no, it's kind of like we've ran into like truckers at truck stops that knew we were the band that did the Korn song.
Wow.
And because it's just always, it's always on Liquid Metal. So, I mean, that's the main thing. And I mean, when that released, the other thing that blew my mind was Chris calling me going, do you have any friends that like are going to be around like Times Square? I'm like, why? And he goes, oh, well, you guys are going to be on this huge billboard to promote the fucking release of Coming Undone in the middle of Times Square. So we somehow, Ron knew somebody that was going to be in Times Square that day by chance, and they went down and took some pictures for us. And it was like the bloody Convalescence logo, and it said like Coming Undone, available now, and whatever, on like this 200-foot digital billboard in the middle of Times Square. And it's just like blood splatter up this fucking side of this building for this like thing. And I'm just like, I don't know how the fuck this happened, but that's insane. Like,
that's sick.
So when we started doing stuff that was just like over the top kind of stuff like that is when we really started getting like people really interested in the band. And I would say 2017 till now has been the biggest like upswing of new fans and new people and stuff like that we've been running into people that have our shit tattooed on them. There's a dude in Denver that's got like the This Is Hell album artwork and the Monument of Misery album artwork, and it's like a whole like half sleeve of his arm tattooed. A dude near Toledo has our logo tattooed down his entire forearm.
Hell yeah.
Like huge. Like I'm talking like that.
I think I've seen the picture of it. I think you got
it's crazy. And I mean, I think that we know of, there's like 20 to 25 people with Convalescence tattoos now. And it just kind of stuff like that, seeing people show up to shows with their faces painted, people that show up to our merch booth and are like, I saw you guys at this and this, and they got like cool stories about the shows and stuff, or like they show up and, you know, are just stoked to see the band. They've never seen us before, and they know about the band. And even like, especially Michigan Metal Fest, the fucking talk of the day was Convalescence is going to spray blood on everybody. And like, even when we went over and did like, I went over and did some interviews and stuff, and they were like, so you're really going to spray blood on everybody? Yeah.
It's the plan.
So yeah, I mean, just overall, man, it's really been coming up, and it was really unfortunate that this year kind of got canceled for everyone. Not only was our year canceled, but like so many kick-ass bands were canceled. You're good. I don't know what you're doing with there, but you're good. Yeah, so I mean, like, I was planning to go see like Slipknot this year, up DT and stuff, and Black Dahlia was coming through with Testament.
Yep.
And I was like, man, it'd be so cool to see those guys again, you know. That shit was unreal though. Watching Testament like side stage every night.
Oh, dude, their new album is incredible.
Yeah. And whoever's doing those videos for like them and Obituary and stuff, the animated ones, is killed. It's so good.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, we have an animated video, but it ain't shit like that. I feel like there's some money involved there.
Right.
And
it is really good.
Thing we're not super working with. One thing that was kind of funny. I don't know if you guys saw the articles, but corpse paint soaps. Did you see that shit?
Oh yeah, I think I did.
Well, like 2 years ago, I had already been in touch with this company, and they've had like my face out for a while.
Damn.
It's like,
that's sick.
Yeah, and it comes in these nice like little cases and shit, but it's like this company in South Korea, and it's just I think it's this one chick, and she makes all these like soap, like bars of soap that look like different black metal singers. And I saw it on Instagram when they first started. I was like the fourth one they made.
That's sick.
They had like when I hit them up, they had like Dead, Abbott, and I want to say like Alice Cooper, and that was it. And then they added mine, then they added Ghost, and then now they have like Danny Filth, and they have a handful of them now. I think they got like 10 different ones now or something like that. But I thought awesome. It was crazy that it took so long for like these metal sites to catch on to that, because as soon as I saw it, I was like, man, that's cool as fuck. You know, and I hit her up and I'm like, hey, how do I get my face? And she's like, oh, I'm fucking down. You know, like, we were getting to you, like, kind of thing. Like, cool. And yeah, like a month later, I got a package in the mail from Korea, and it was like a bunch of bars of soap that looked like my face. And we started selling them. So I think they're working on restocking mine right now, but soon I'll be posting everywhere trying to get people to buy the shit again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where can people find those things?
She has like an Etsy.
Okay.
But they're on Instagram and they're on Facebook and stuff like that. But it's just called Corpse Paint Soaps.
Yeah.
Literally the name of the company.
That's awesome.
Definitely, if you're into like black metal, especially during a pandemic, you know, order some soap from Korea.
Hell yeah.
Do you guys like switch up your corpse paint designs for every release, or is it just something that you guys just kind of keep? Because I know it kind of varies.
Well, we did make a big change right when This Is Hell came out, because we used to use like the traditional white, white paint with the black, and it was like more intricate designs and stuff. Every member that comes in the band gets to make their own design. But once you make that design and there's photos of you with that design, that's you. Like,
okay.
Until a little bit like, further notice. So I had the same one for like a long time with the white, and then when This Is Hell was coming out, we were getting a lot of shit with Unique Leader like promoting us, because they promote more to like the death metal, like elitist grind tech death kind of people. And it was very apparent that people wholeheartedly believed that we were like disrespecting black metal by being like a band playing breakdowns and with clean vocals and all that shit while wearing corpse paint. So we're like, well, it's not traditional like black metal corpse paint. That's not even why we're wearing it. We're wearing this because we want to put on an actual show. When people, I feel like I don't want to pay to see a bunch of dudes in jeans and t-shirts stand there stiff playing their songs.
Right.
I'd rather just listen to the CD or watch the shit on YouTube or whatever. I want to put on a show that's like people talk about when they leave, that they go tell their friends, like, you missed some shit for not being there.
Yes.
So, and that came, man. I mean, I've been wearing makeup in bands since I was 15. Like, so it was really exciting to get to incorporate that into this band and then see how far it's come since then. But we switched to gray, the gray paint, and we switched to more of like more simplistic designs, like more like almost like tribal looking designs. And that kind of really switched it up. It didn't look as black metal anymore. Like, it didn't look as like where we live in a forest anymore. Like, it looked more like its own thing at that point. So that's why we switched to gray. But some of the guys, each album cycle, they'll like switch up their paint a little bit, but it's still generally the same thing. Like,
do you feel like before? Because I always wonder about that, because like I know, at least before, like, playing shows and stuff, like everybody's kind of got their like different like ritual kind of stuff that they do. At least I do for the most part. Like, I was wondering, like, does that kind of help like get you in a mindset of like?
Absolutely. Like, you don't even feel like the same person. Like, half the weird shit we do in the paint, we would never do regular. Like, you're just once you're in the paint and you're in those stage clothes and you're like dripping blood everywhere, and you see people like looking at you that way, and you're like literally about to walk out on stage in front of a couple thousand people holding a dead animal.
Yeah.
Like, and you're just immediately going to start like screaming about killing.
Yeah.
you have to be in a certain like mindset for that.
Right.
And yeah, I get way more pumped up once we have the paint on, and I don't think I'd want to play our songs without it. Like, it's awkward. It's weird at practice to not have it on. Like, so no, I don't think it'll ever go anywhere. I think we're going to just keep building on it and making it crazier and crazier. And obviously, the more budget we end up with to work with, and the bigger we get, the crazier it's going to get. I mean, fuck, if it was up to me and budget wasn't an issue, and like stage size wasn't an issue, I mean, we'd be blowing shit up like Rammstein, man. Like,
oh yeah.
Well, I always thought about like the scene in Blade. I don't know if you remember the Blade movies.
Oh yeah.
We're in the club and the fucking blood starts spraying from all the sprinklers in the ceiling.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to do that in a fucking club, man.
Oh my god.
Like, I want to do that at a show.
Yeah.
And it would absolutely trash everything.
That's pretty fucking genius, though.
But it would be amazing.
Holy shit.
But the logistics of running fucking fake blood through a sprinkler system is just not really there.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're on like a movie set, you know what I mean? It was like built for that.
Yeah.
But god damn it, that's a good idea.
Yeah, but you can't do that in a fucking club. You can't like go to fucking the Sanctuary and Hamtramck and redo their sprinkler system tonight. You know, like you're not allowed to do that shit. So
Yeah, probably
I mean,
not.
there's like crazy ideas like that we would love to incorporate, but the budget and the realistic, feasible way to do this every night is not there.
Right.
So I mean, we got the ideas, just not the budget. So look out for the next couple years as the shows continue to hopefully get a little bit bigger, to see more stuff from us. Like I said, we already added lights. We added a few geysers. We switched out the kick drum head finally, so it's not the same ass thing. And we're rebuilding some of the props.
I can't wait to see you guys with pyrotechnics. That's I don't know if you're a fan of Parkway Drive, but they just released that Viva La Underdogs.
Yeah, was it Wild Eyes or whatever?
Yeah, and that's
a couple of them. Yeah, killing it.
Dude, yeah, that tour is the first time they used pyrotechnics. The first time they were going to use pyrotechnics in the United States was supposed to be in December with Hatebreed as direct support.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that's something I really look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, what we were planning this year was we're like, okay, we have this outdoor show. This might be our only tour of the year. Like, let's basically take the loss money-wise and, like, blow some shit up.
That's exactly what and same exact mentality as them, man.
Yeah, like, let's make this bigger than it even needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because that's how you become that band.
Yes.
You know, and even like when Kiss was starting out, I've heard the stories the whole time I've been fucking growing up. They just made their show too big for small venues.
Yeah.
And then they just told everybody, hey, keep fucking calling these big venues and saying you want to see Kiss.
Mm-hmm.
We're not playing until we can play this fucking like arena. And sure as fuck, Kiss is one of the biggest bands ever.
Yep. Because
they literally just could never play the small places because their show was too big.
Yeah.
That's badass. Unfortunately, that doesn't work as well now. But what we're doing is, you know, every time we come out, especially, you know, the festivals and stuff, like, when's the last time a new band, I'm not talking like Guar or something like that, when's the last time a new band came out and sprayed several gallons of blood out into the crowd?
Exactly.
You know, when's the last time a new band came out and had actual bones on stage and actual barbed wire on stage and stuff like that? I'm not saying it's a new thing that's never been done before, but it's definitely not as used as it once was.
Yes.
And we're also trying to do it in our own way and trying to make it our thing. So really at the end of the day, man, I just want the fans to be entertained. I want everybody to go home like that was worth my $10 to get in, you know, like
for sure.
And you know, I want everybody to leave with, you know, a shirt or a CD or whatever, not just because it helps us like live, but because that's a new fan that's gonna go home and jam our shit now. And I remember being that kid with like a million posters all over my fucking walls, and like, I mean, dude, my whole closet is literally band shirts.
Yep.
Like, there's not even a different color. It's like solid black. My whole closet. Not
Mine
one
too.
other colored shirt in there.
Mine too.
And you know, my whole room was like Rob Zombie, Manson, Slipknot, Cannibal Corpse, Lamb of God, you know. And it means a lot to me when I see kids like that into our music, like I used to be into those bands.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the main thing, man. So like we can even send somebody home with a sticker, a poster, anything, remember that name. You know what I mean? Like I've given away free merch a million fucking times to people that were like, oh, I don't have any money. I really like your band though. Like, here, take this shirt, take this CD too, jam our shit, tell your friends. Like, I'd rather have them leave with it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, that was like, it's one of the first times it actually like it was because we played Metal Fest the first year, and I remember like when we were finished, like because we were kind of in that.
Which band were you with?
Bogwraith.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah, it was the drummer of Bogwraith. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Did not know that. That's badass.
Oh yeah.
I like your shit, man.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, we like the first year that we played with you guys, like or yeah, it was, we were kind of like in the middle there with like where the merch row stuff was or whatever, and like I just remember walking over and seeing you guys on the like the main stage where it was at, and like there was this gigantic circle pit around the sound booth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, instantly
Dude,
I was like,
that
oh, man, this
was
is
amazing.
like
Funny story about that. So we're about to start that song. That song's I Dreamer. And we're about to start that fucking song. And Ron comes up to me on stage. And right, like I'm talking into the mic and he goes, circle pit around the soundboard. And I'm like, you know, after I got done talking, I looked at him and I'm like, dude, if they don't do it, we're gonna look like douches. Like if we tell them to do this and they're just like not about it, like that's gonna be like the fail of the festival. And he's like, just fucking do it, dude. They'll do it. Just fucking do it. And sure as fuck, I was like, circle pit around the soundboard. And then you immediately see every security person back there panic. And like and the pit started around the soundboard. And we came back last year, and Scott, the one security dude, comes up and he goes, so you see all those boards around the sound booth? Like, yeah. He goes, we put those there because of you guys. So then we switched up this year to the Wall of Death.
Yep.
Which was honestly equally as epic, I think.
It was. I was in that Wall of Death.
Yeah, and both those situations are on YouTube.
Yeah.
The Circle Pit and the Wall of Death one. Yeah. Michigan Metal Fest is one of our favorite festivals to play, just because it's close enough to like our home fans. Like, you know, our people from Toledo will drive to go see that. You know, and
that's sick.
This is like where the band kind of started, and we got like a lot of diehard fans like in Michigan, Ohio, Indiana. So when we do Michigan Metal Fest, it's like we know all the bands that are fucking playing for the most part, you know, and we're familiar with everybody at least. And we know the promoters, and we know the security, and we know everybody there, and it's just a blast. It's a big party.
Yeah.
Steve
really
does a fucking job with that every year, man.
Yeah.
That's killer.
Yeah, that video you guys reshared recently was one of my favorite moments when Chelsea Strickland from Accursed Creator was on stage with you, and the vocalist of Raven Black, and you had a couple other guests from a couple other bands on stage with you at Michigan Metal Fest. That was unbelievable. That was so cool. And
that was also spontaneous thing, because that was actually the first show we had ever sprayed blood. Was Michigan Metal Fest 2018.
Wow.
Like, I mean, we had thrown like some extra blood out on the crowd, like a water bottle full or something like that in the past, or like, you know, me and Ron have both definitely done the fucked up thing of spitting blood into the crowd. And, you know, so we've done that, but to the extent of like full on soaking everybody, we had not done that yet. And it was like that morning, we're like, okay, it's the end of this tour. We still have like a whole gallon and a half of fucking blood. Let's use all of it. You know, like, so we had stopped at like a dollar store and we bought all these like fucking every single like little water gun they had, and just filled them all with blood. And then we lined the entire front of the stage with water bottles of blood. And then I just walked around all day, and the guys walked around all day, and we're like, hey man, you want to spray blood? Fuck yeah. Hey man, you want to spray blood? Fuck yeah. So yeah, we had Raven Black got up there. Chelsea was doing vocals and spraying blood. We had Will Betts from, at the time, Dead Eyes Always Dreaming. We had Dave from My Own Will up there. So I think it's at one point we had 10 people on stage.
Yeah, it was insane
for that track. Last year, I think Jordan from The Breathing Process and Dustin from Filth were helping us out with the blood spraying.
Those two bands are
phenomenal. Hell is fucking killer. By the way, if I haven't heard it yet, it's the shit.
The new what'd you say? Which album?
The new Filth.
Dude, it's insane.
Yeah, they're killer.
Love that band. Yeah.
We were all so stoked to have that tour put together where it was us, Filth, and Casket Robbery, together. I mean, Blood of Angels from Florida, and they're sick, and I love those guys. But it was like the core 3 bands of Casket Robbery, Filth, and us was just gonna make such a good fucking tour.
Oh yeah.
And ticket sales and like hype on the event pages and stuff was looking so good for it. But we did postpone the tour, not cancel it. And it will be back in 2021, providing we're allowed to play shows.
Yeah.
All the bands have already agreed to do the tour.
Awesome.
Again. So it will happen. And once I have a little bit better of a idea of when some of the fests are getting rescheduled, I'll book that tour back around it. And we'll still try to even hit a lot of the same fests that we were originally going to, as well as mainly a lot of the same cities. And we're hoping to make that part of our 10-year tour. So we get to go parade around that we're the old guys now. 10 fucking years, you know? All these bands are like, yeah, we came out in 2017. We got an EP and an album, and it's like, sick. I feel old as fuck. I remember seeing bands like when I was like 15 playing shows, 15, 16 playing shows, and seeing like the older dudes pulling up in like the short buses or like the school buses or like a nice van and trailer, and it was like, oh yeah, these are like the dad metal bands. Like they're like fucking old as shit. They're gonna play some Pantera when they get up there or something. I remember just like thinking that like these are the old guys, and now we are the old guys, even though we're like not even 30.
I say my bassist is 30. He's like the oldest of us, and he's always saying stuff like that. Like, man, like. Yeah.
And people ask us all the time, why do you guys tour in a bus and not a van?
I was gonna ask you about that because I saw the bus invader thing that you guys did like a year ago or something.
We've had 3 school buses.
Okay.
Oh wow.
We've had we got one in 2015, and that got us through basically 2015, and into 2016. But we bought it for like $5,000. And we converted it and stuff, and the transmission went out, so we traded it for another bus, and then went on tour in that, and that's the bus that blew its engine last year. And we had to finish the tour in a van with a like rental trailer. We had to buy a van on tour.
Oh my god!
In Texas.
Wow.
And then find a rental trailer. And continue. We actually didn't miss any shows during that whole fiasco. Not even the night that we blew up 4 hours away from the venue. We still got there actually in time for load-in and in time to backline our shit. In a fucking U-Haul truck, dude. Yeah. Riding around in the back of a U-Haul truck with the gear in pitch black, like in the back, in like the middle of the summer in Texas.
Oh, jeez.
It's just like, fuck, man. Like, that's so good. And yeah, so we made the rest of last year work, and then we got a new bus that has not been used for touring yet, but it's like fully renovated. Ron's been working on it a lot, and it's the nicest out of the 3 now, mechanically and like living wise. He's been going all out. I think we got like a refrigerator in there now and like a PlayStation and all kinds of shit. So
that's awesome.
You know, pretty stoked to get on the road in that. But the reason we tour in a bus is because first off, we have 6 band members.
Yeah.
6 people in a van is a lot. 5 people in a Ron is even more. Our bassist is like 6'5", 6'6".
Oh shit.
Not a small person. So putting him in a van with 5 people, and then you add in like we always have a merch guy, and then we always have a driver. So you're talking 8 people, and one of them is like 6'5", and at least at least 4 of the other people in the van are 6 foot or taller.
Ooh.
And so you're just sitting there like way too close to everybody. And you're also covered in paint. And it just, dude, it fucking sucks. Van tours suck.
Wow.
Not that we don't ever do them, but if we can help it, we don't. Plus, if you're touring for 2-3 months and you can't lay down to sleep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I said, we're old now, so we're like, I don't want to get up there and headbang after sleeping sitting up at a truck stop and seat like 1 inch from someone's like fucking ass or something. Like, no way, dude. Like,
Yeah.
that shit sucks. In the bus, I mean, really, the gas mileage is about the same as a van and trailer. Because I mean, once you pack 6 to 8 people, in a van, and then you hook up like a dirt bike sized trailer to it, that's like full from wall to wall and like floor to ceiling. That bitch is getting like 9 miles to the gallon.
Right.
Like.
Right.
Think about that.
And like the bus, fully loaded with everybody in it, and no trailer, so no trailer to deal with either, gets 12 miles to the gallon. So and it's diesel, so a lot of the time it's cheaper even.
Yep.
So like, it's actually cheaper to tour in a fucking school bus than it is in a van and trailer.
Hell yeah.
And everybody's just like, you guys are fucking nuts. And it's like, the only time it sucks is when it breaks down. If it breaks down, if a light comes on, plan to spend at least $2,000 every time.
Right.
Dude, we paid up to we got a flat tire and we had to pay $900 to get it changed.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So like, just because like it's a specialty thing, like take it to a shop.
A fucking tire. That's a lot of rubber.
That's
you figure we're basically putting on semi tires.
Yeah.
So I mean, and like even like the parts or something, man. Like my dad was a mechanic for a long time, and he was like looking at the original bus with me. We actually bought it up in Port Huron, and he was looking at the original. He goes, "Dude, this fucking drive shaft must be 23 feet long." I'm like, yeah, probably. Like we don't know a whole lot. Ron works on the bus sometimes, but for the most part, I mean, it's something breaks, you pull over and you call somebody to come out and figure it out.
Right.
Because if you keep driving it, it's going to blow up more shit, and it's going to get real expensive real quick. So the downside to touring in a bus is if something does break, something does go wrong, you better be making some money on the tour or you're fucked. Because even towing those things, we've heard like a tow truck, like seriously, like $600 a mile.
Oh my God.
To come get this fucking thing. So like,
wow.
Sometimes parts aren't even available. So like you'll be stuck at a shop like in the desert, and they're like, "Well, we need this part." Oh, the only person that has this part's in New Jersey. Jesus. So we can overnight it, but it's already a $3,000 part.
Oh my God.
And like stuff like that. So it's like, that is a downside. The good side is it breaks down way less than a fully loaded van and trailer because the van is not supposed to pull that. For like 100,000 miles or whatever, up mountains and shit. Like, man, when we had van and trailer, I swear there's been a couple tours we broke down once a week.
Oh my God.
Like every week there'd be something, and it was always on Saturday night.
Oh.
So like nothing was ever open the next day, and we're always in the middle of like nowhere. Just like, oh yeah, our radiator's blown. Should we ask this corn or these beans to fix it? So like there's a field on either side.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a truck stop up there. They say they don't work on buses. Like something like that. Like we've been in that situation so many fucking times that it's just like,
wow,
whatever.
Right.
But,
you guys almost need like a mechanic on the bus with you just to.
I mean, it would be really helpful, but I mean, the tools or any spare parts. We don't have room for that shit.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Oh, you got this whole big ass bus to live in," and they always come and hang out while all our gear's loaded into the venue.
Mm.
So like all the gear is sitting on stage or backstage or something at the venue. We're all chilling on the bus, and this thing is like empty and looks all like spacious. You put like what would normally fill up an entire trailer in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's, you got to turn sideways and like scoot down the middle to like get to the back of the bus. So sometimes you have to actually like climb over gear to get into your bed, and it's not as spacious as people would think. And in addition to that, I feel like if you got in an accident in the van, it's gonna suck. If you get in an accident in that bus, you're probably gonna die. Like,
yeah.
See, for some reason I always thought the opposite. Like I always thought that.
All right, so like a van and trailer, everybody's got seat belts they can put on.
True.
Like it's got like airbags. It's got, not all your gear is sitting right next to you. So if something happens, you have a lot higher chance of like some kind of safety thing, like kind of saving your ass. If you flip over in that bus, all the gear, all your shit, the bunk beds, everything is just going to go flying around in a circle. So it's basically like everything is going to, in the inside is going to be like a grinder. So we've been
think about it like that.
Yeah. So
I guess it is a little more secure with everything, like in one spot than having everybody else in the front or whatever.
Right. Real quick though, I hate to cut this like short or whatever. I do have to hop off here soon. But it's definitely been awesome,
Oh man,
talking to you guys.
Do you and do you have time for maybe like one last quick question?
Yeah.
Okay, just one question I always like to end on with all new guests and everything is this is just like a side thing that I'm really into. I was curious. I was wondering, have you ever had any kind of experience in your life that you would classify as paranormal?
I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, just going around like all these different places and shit, and just seeing different things. We've been in like a lot of houses that were definitely like sketchy. There's some venues like the Riot Room in Kansas City. There's like a hole in their green room floor that goes to like this weird, like, looks like dungeon levels of something.
Oh wow.
We've been in venues that like there'll be like a sealed door, but if you open the door, it's like tunnels under the city.
Holy shit.
Stuff like that. So I mean, like, we played at Mansfield Prison, the Ohio State Reformatory, for that incarceration fest. We played down there with Black Label Society, and dude, I mean, it's a creepy feeling walking around, especially in like the top like parts of that jail, like up and down the things and stuff. And I mean, dude, it's like the width of one person between like the cells and that like fence, basically. And it's just so fucking crazy. I can't believe people like spent years of their lives in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we've definitely played some shit like that for sure.
That's awesome. I just always like to ask people about their paranormal experiences. It's always a fun story. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm absolutely from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for reaching out and wanting to be on this show. It means the absolute world to us.
Yeah, anytime. Hit me up.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was just going to say, anytime you ever want to be back on, we would love to have you. We're huge fans. And is there anything real quick to end? Is there anything like to plug or anything like that? Anything immediately new coming up, or
just keep checking out our album Monument of Misery. And
fuck yeah.
We'll have some new videos and the making of and the DVD and a new record and all kinds of shit coming out.
Oh,
over
I can't wait for the
next
making
few
of.
months and into next year.
That's awesome. I can't wait for the making of and the 10 years DVD. That's as a hardcore fan, that's the kind of stuff I absolutely like totally gravitate towards. So
absolutely.
I always love seeing that stuff.
Hope when shows get kind of picking back up, we should set something up. So I really
Absolutely,
like to
man.
play a show with you guys for sure.
For sure. For sure. We've been wanting to jam with you guys more anyway. So, yeah, I'll hit you guys up and definitely get you guys on a show.
Oh yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. Because I've like seen you guys with just that Metal Fest and then with Devil Driver and stuff. Like, just there's so much from like your stage show to like just your sound that like is very like kind of in the scale of sort of what I would hope for us to kind of going forward as far as just the whole imagery and stuff. So it's
Absolutely.
so.
All right,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, we'll get you on a show for sure. It was great being here. Great talking to you guys.
Absolutely,
And
man.
Thank you, yeah, man.
All stays well with you guys. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, hope all
good.
stays well with you, and thank you so much for being on, man. We appreciate it so much.
Absolutely, man.
We'll hopefully talk to you
See you
again
guys.
soon. Ha ha ha. All right. That was it, everyone. I think we're hold on. I think we're going now. That was it, everyone. That was our interview with Keith from the Convalescence. I mean, there aren't words. I can't thank him enough for being on this show. Like,
Seriously.
I mean, this silly little thing we started in a basement, like that, where it was just two friends that just wanted to talk about metal all the time. And now we had someone like that on the show who is just fucking like amazing, and he was an absolute blast to talk with. Can't thank him enough. Can't thank the Convalescence enough. You know, their last album, Monument of Misery, is something that I mean, This Is Hell. Also, like, I found them on This Is Hell, and man, like that was insane. That was insane.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Like, there's still tons. One thing we got to. Hey, look, people. Like, we're new at this. Like, one thing we got to make sure to do next time is to ask how much time the guest has. But it was perfect. It was amazing. I still have plenty to ask him. He's happy to be on again sometime in the future, and so part 2 is going to be amazing. But man, what a great guy, and so much fun to talk to. So many amazing stories, and just one of my absolute favorite bands going right now. They have been since the first time I saw them a few years ago. So
yeah, it's cool though, because I often forget like how long they've been around and stuff, and just hearing about like some of the stories that were kind of going back and forth, and just a little like like playing all these festivals and just the little hang-ups and stuff. Like it's really from a standpoint of being in a band that's been around for way less than that, like, and just hearing like kind of like what it took for all that to happen and stuff, and it was just kind of like a constant grind with it and everything. Like, that was really cool. So yeah, thank you sincerely. Like, that was awesome. And like from the beginning, really, like I had always really kind of wanted to, not to get too into it too much, but like it's a big goal of mine to be able to like interview different bands and different band members and stuff at a certain point. I didn't know that this was going to be the vehicle for that to happen, but it's it's really cool that you get opportunities like this and stuff, and it's just I, like I said, man, like, extended thank yous to to Keith and every Convalescence and everybody. Like, that was really sick.
Yeah, like, I've said many times, this podcast was started selfishly for me to record conversations with my friends that I think are awesome. And the fact that it's gotten to this point and people know, I don't know, man, it's just crazy to me. And yeah, for like this band, they were, God, like that thing I talked about, like, how I used to see Dahlia and Hatebreed open for everyone, and then like I kind of like fell out of the whole in Battlecross, and I kind of fell out of the whole concert thing for a while, and then came back into it, and then it was Convalescence, and I immediately took notice. And just, if you follow them, if you pay attention to them, they're the real deal. They are the real deal right now. Okay, like they. You know, I see no reason why they shouldn't headline the 2021 Michigan Metal Fest. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. And the DVD stuff, man. Oh my God, the behind the scenes on the Monument of Misery, the 10 years documentary. You know me. This is the shit I fucking live for, dude. I'm getting hard copies of all of them. Like. Oh God, man! I cannot be more excited. Could not be more excited. I didn't even get to ask him about the cover art, because I love their cover art so fucking much. Beautiful, beautiful artwork on their albums.
Yeah.
Especially the last two. But man, yeah. So that was a great time. We cannot thank Keith and the Convalescence enough. Absolutely, from the bottom of our hearts, you guys are the fucking best, and can't wait to have you back on. Can't wait for a part 2. Can't wait for the DVDs. Can't wait for the new music. Unbelievably excited for all of it. And that just absolutely meant the world to us. So thank you so much. And because at the end of the day, we're just a couple fans, you know what I mean? At the end, you're a fucking bog wraith, but at the end of the day, we're a couple fans, so it just means the world to us. Thank you so much, and as always, we will be back again very soon with much more. And man, thank you all so fucking much for all the support and watching. Yes, cheers to all of our fans. Cheers to everyone. Cheers to Convalescence. Cheers to Convalescence fans. Thank you all so much for watching. It means the world to us from the bottom of our hearts. And lots more coming soon. But as always, raise your fucking horns and bang your heads. We love you all to death. Good night.